If you are somebody who wants to learn how to become unaffected and unbothered by unsolicited people's opinions, then stay tuned. This video is for you. This video is tailored towards people who are maybe prolific people pleasers, who maybe seek a lot of validation external to themselves and not internally. It is not, though, a quick disclaimer, it is not a video tailored towards if you have done something wrong. So if I'm talking about myself personally, when I've been on this journey, if I have done something wrong and people do not like me or have an issue with me in response to me doing something wrong, then the course of action for that is to take accountability and do the reflective work and own up to that. However, we all know that no matter how well intentioned we are, and no matter whether we are doing things that are in the best interest of us and the people around us, we will still have and still come up against people who have opinions about you for no good reason. This is about that. So I've created an acronym called ACT W, which means for me, act wiser. And I want to take you through the steps of those acronyms to help you basically achieve the goal of becoming unbothered by people's opinions. So the first thing is A, which stands for accept. We have to begin to learn to accept that people will and do and will continue to have opinions about me, about you, and about everybody else on the planet. There is nothing that you can do. Your resistance that is going on inside of you will not stop it. You trying to reason with it will not stop it. You understanding it will not stop it. You have to accept that it is what it is. People will and people do. And sometimes it comes from a source of worthiness, and sometimes it comes from a source of complete invalidity, and it's absolute pointless, and it should not live anywhere inside your body rent free. We have to accept it. Once you let go of the resistance, because sometimes I think that something that I say to clients often, and I had to work on for myself, is that our acceptance of something does not mean our agreement to it. It does not mean that if we accept it, then we're suddenly in agreement that they're right about us. Not at all. Our acceptance means that we take out the resistance that lives inside our body that we then have to live with. So, accepting that people will and do have opinions about you, rightly or wrongly, is nothing to do with you, and you cannot change it. And once you accept it and let go of the resistance, it means that you can start to move forward. It also means that you can start to make small steps in practicing what it feels like to not be in resistance to them having an opinion of you. Once you learn that actually them having an opinion about me means nothing, it actually affects my life zero. This will not matter. This will not go on to matter. All that matters is that I don't want them to feel that way. But I can accept that they do, and there's nothing that I can do. If I'm living in alignment and I'm living authentically and I'm living right and I'm living practicing being a good person, if they have an opinion of me from their frame of reference due to their own internal world, it's nothing to do with me. I accept it for what it is. I also think that for A is the acceptance of that you are not compatible with that person. If that person is committed, they're committed to misunderstanding you and painting you in a certain way and disliking you, then they're committed. And the moment that you get out of the way of that, because you think that you can change that when you can't, is the moment that you start to experience true freedom. Because it's not that you are in agreement that their opinions are right, it's just that you are accepting that actually not only do they get to decide, but you get to decide that, okay, if you're somebody who goes about your business where you see a small snippet of somebody's life and you want to make a whole picture and opinion about that, you're not compatible with me because I'm not about that. I'm not about that business and I don't go about life that way. This is a two-way street. You get to decide, but I get to decide equally. And I'm making a more informed decision because I'm taking in more into account than you are, that you just took a snapshot of somebody's life, or you just walked past somebody and decided that you didn't like them, or that you made an opinion and a picture about me based off nothing. Once you learn to accept that people will show you exactly who they are, and you get to decide whether you are cool with that too, and you also get out of your own way about not accepting that, that is a game changer. Number two is the acronym C, which infers to confidence. It infers to the idea that if you're not certain about you, you're not certain about yourself, you're not confident in yourself, that you are confident in your decisions, you're not confident in who you are, you're not confident in knowing yourself well enough that if somebody says you are one thing, then you can challenge them because you know yourself. You're the person who has spent 100% of the time with you, has gone through 100% of your experiences with you, and should know yourself the best and know whether you do align with that thing that they are saying you are, then that is the thing that you're needing. The more confidence that I gained, the more that I repaired the relationship with myself. It starts, the thing with confidence, it starts with courage, and then courage becomes confidence. It won't feel authentic if you are so used to being a prolific people pleaser and going against your needs in hope to meet somebody else's, in hope that they will do the same for you, which never ends up happening. It is one of those things where you have to act out of in cognitive dissonance, out of regulation with yourself in order to get a different result. It's the saying, isn't it, of the same key will open the same door. If you want to open a new door, you're going to have to get a new key, basically. You're going to have to start creating a new path. So if you want to gain more confidence in yourself, you have to become more confident in your decision making. That requires you to start making new decisions in your best interest. If you want more confidence in who you are, you have to figure out who you are. You have to get really crystal clear with who you are. Another thing that I do, I will try to input a picture if I can. A worksheet that I do with clients, and it's in my Her journal of self discovery. It's the idea that our self concept, is always, if we are not filling it in ourselves. Let me make it a little bit clearer. If I wasn't sure whether I was a good person, what I may do is, because I have not filled in that crack, I have not filled it in with information that I know to be true, because I'm certain about the way that I act, I'm certain about the way that I am, I'm certain of the choices I make, and I'm so certain of that particular thing, it leaves it open for somebody else to fill it in. And it's the same thing of, because I am so certain of the person that I am, if somebody comes along and says to me, "You're not a good person," I'm unavailable. Unavailable to believe in it, because I have too much evidence that suggests otherwise. And again, relating to the first thing, this is coming from somebody who has got very limited information and knowledge about me. They can't take a snapshot from 0.01% and decide who I am, because I've been with myself 100% of the time, and I know who I am because I've done the work to get to know who I am, and I've also done the actions aligned with the qualities that I admire. Whereas if somebody came along and tried to infer something about something that I've not filled in myself, so I don't have the confidence in my relationship with myself and my identity and my decisions, it's very likely that they are going to absolutely be able to fill in that crack of your self concept. So, the work that I suggest that you do here, and remember that nothing works without action. You can think it, you can intellectualize it, you can know all the right stuff, but until you start putting this into action, you're not going to get the results of becoming unbothered by people's opinion. But you have to really truly develop that relationship with yourself, and that's a whole new thing on its own. If anybody would like a video on how to develop a healthy and strong and secure relationship with self, all of self, please let me know. And the other thing would be is T, so act. T would stand for time, and time basically just refers to How much will the opinion of somebody that you are taking on board in that particular moment matter to you in a year's time, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time? If the answer is that you won't be sat at the end of your life really bothered about that person's opinion because it was invaluable to you, then it really shouldn't be taking up the space in your mind. And again, that is a permission thing. I know it doesn't feel like it is when we're so used to doing it. And I'm one of those. I remember feeling like I didn't really get to decide. And now I know fundamentally and factually that I absolutely do get to decide. The moment that I make a contract with it, the moment that I am not doing the work to not have the emotional contract and the letting it in and letting it seep into me and how I feel about me, that's a game changer. Like the moment that you know that you actually are the person who opens the door and lets them in and lets it live there, you are that person. So if in 5 years' time it won't matter to you, and you know what, a good analogy of this could be that I remember feeling in high school like it all mattered. And it's because I was in this space where you don't really get to escape it. I think that's quite a natural thing. But the truth is that I think back to the people whose opinions I would be taking on, the people who I would be tiptoeing around, and I look back on them now and no. Sorry, no. So invaluable and no. Sorry, no, so invaluable. We are not even on the same path. We're not heading in the same direction. And they know nothing of me because we're not even similar as people. So invaluable, like it will not matter to me now. And if I'd have known that back then, maybe it would have helped my headspace with becoming unbothered by their opinions in that space and in that time, and knowing what is in my control and what is outside of my control. That's another really valuable thing too. And the final thing is, remember when I said it's act wiser, is W. And it's the weighing up of whose opinions you value. Because as human beings, we do require social connection. We're social beings. And we do want to be connected to other people. We want to have strong connections to other people. But not everybody should matter, and not everybody does matter. Not that they don't matter in the greater good of the world, but they shouldn't matter to you on the trajectory of your life because they don't hold a valuable space in it. So it would be the weighing up of whose opinion am I really taking on board when I'm letting this sit and live rent free inside of me. So I have a criteria, and if they don't meet the three, then they don't get to live inside of me. And I get to process and regulate my nervous system because I'm still allowed to have an emotional response to being judged, but that's different to me being bothered by their opinion because it doesn't have value to me. So the criteria of the three, which would help it weigh more, and I would then take it on board, would be number one, myself. And like I said before, this is because I have done the work to develop my sense of self. I've done the work to develop a sense of understanding of myself. And I am also the person who understands myself the best because I have been with myself every step of my journey. I have understood every experience that I've had, and I have gone away and done the reflective work to become the very best version of myself to date. So everything should be considered through the lens of how do I feel about this? Do I believe that this is true? Even if it may hurt that they're judging me, how much do I truly believe in this opinion as having any validity? Number two would be the people in my life, my friends and my family members who I hold dearly and close to me because they have my best interest at heart. People like that are so valuable and they should not be in any way discredited because I know that they're always looking out for my best interest. They want the best for me. They're shouting for me to win. They want me to live a happy and successful life. And for as long as I have those people and they have an opinion, even if it doesn't sit well with me, because it might make me feel uncomfortable or it might make me face a part of myself that I don't want to face, I will value that opinion because that sits here. It sits in the three because I know that they have my best interests at heart. So if they said, listen, what you did there, Jade, was not cool, and you might just need to go away and just reflect on that and assess that, guess what? It might hurt, but I'm going to go away and do that because I know, one, that they know me well enough. I know, two, that they have my best interests at heart. And I know, three, that if I do that, I get to grow in my capacity as a person. And the third thing on my criteria of people who weigh more and their opinion is valuable to me is people who are experts in their field that will help develop me as a person. So that could be professionals, that could be people on YouTube who, when I watch them, they open up doorways in my mind, they increase my thought capacity, they teach me new things about myself and others. They're people that I will absolutely take on their opinions because it is of high value. But everybody else lives on this side. Anybody who doesn't meet that three lives on this side. And if somebody is somebody who will take a snapshot of something from your life to create the whole picture and they want to negatively paint you, like I say, they're committed to misunderstanding you. They're already committed to disliking you. They're already committed to painting a picture of you. And they know, like I say, 0.01% of what they have seen, and they will only filter in information that confirms that belief invaluable. And I would ask you, and I know we've all been there, so this is not a judgment call, but if you are somebody who does take on those people's opinions on board and you let it seep into your self concept and your view and your confidence in yourself, you have to ask yourself, why would that opinion matter to me? You have to do the reflective work about, why do I value them and that opinion so much? Because once you do that, once you find the answer to that, you again can close that doorway. I hope that this has been valuable. Please let me know, and let me know if you would like any future videos on anything related. And yeah, send in all my love. Have a great day. Have a blessed day.